Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and Taylor. Today, we're going to talk about Taylor's first experience watching Ghostbusters for the first time ever.
Brothers.
Gosh.
That could work too.
they're all brothers.
Yeah.
It's like this, one of the things I really liked about this movie just in general, how it's like a small business and these guys are trying to make it. It's not even like a company, or it's like these guys who are trying to make a living. They're always like, yes, it's going to cost you $1,000 to like house this guy. And the guy's like, oh, that's too expensive. He's like, well, we could just put it back there.
Yeah.
Just like, oh. All right, Taylor, give us like a brief rundown of the movie for people who haven't seen it.
This is kind of like a quiz, so you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, because I watched it half yesterday, half today. So these parapsychologists.
Dang,
is that
that's
what they
good.
are?
Yeah, I think that's what they're called.
That was just so odd, so it stuck to my brain. Parapsychologists, they were pushed out of their university well, they're like doctors, and they were pushed out of their university funding and space of studying ghosts.
Yeah, the paranormal, right?
The paranormal, which, yeah, I guess the wider world knows exists, or some people know exists, because like it happened at the library.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the world knows about ghosts. So that happens, and then one of them like sells their family, or they use their inheritance kind of to buy a fire station in is it in New York or Philadelphia?
New York.
Okay, New York. And then they operate a Ghostbuster small business out of that fire station, where if someone calls with a ghost sighting or issue, it's like they're like firemen waiting around for the bell to ring, and they gain a lot of notoriety. And then the EPA comes in, the villain, the EPA. I thought that was funny, and says like, you're doing like unregulated stuff. So then they're like, you have to stop, I don't know, like push this button and make it stop. And when they push the button and make it stop, all the ghosts go everywhere in New York and take over. And there's like that building. That's like the synopsis of it, I guess.
Zool.
Oh, and then they, spoilers, defeat the Marshmallow Man that I'm sure everyone has seen before. So
yeah. That's the spirit of Zool, right? Because he's like, you have to, whatever form you think of it takes, or whatever.
And the spirit of Zool takes the form of
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Sigourney Weaver is in there.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver.
Woven in.
And Rick Moranis.
I love Rick Moranis, yes. Yes.
All right, so this was your first viewing. Did it hold up to the hype?
Yeah, considering it's original.
Because you weren't even born yet. I don't think I was even born
no,
yet.
You weren't.
It was 1984.
Yeah.
I was born 88, so it was 4 years before I was even born.
Yeah, so I think this is another case of like, it came out a little too far before I was born. So then by the time I was like whatever age this is, 10, it's like way in the past. So yeah, for some of you out there may be in this camp where you just kind of like didn't get around to seeing it because it was kind of considered old. Maybe it was on TV for people. I don't know how I didn't see this.
Quite a bit.
It's
one of those TV
people
movies.
Probably caught it. I don't really know. Oh, I did see the 2016 one though.
Wait, you saw the 2016 one before this one?
So yes, I wonder how much of the population, like 10% of us, not even, probably like 0.01% of us have seen the really, really bad one, and then this one. Oh, so I'm not proud of that.
Okay. So moments that you liked, were
Yes.
there any moments that stood out to you where you're like, yeah, that's good, or that's funny, or?
Yeah, I liked when they were getting in their groove of the Ghostbusters business, and they had loved the I love a good montage, and I feel like this is like the quintessential montage. Like, we're doing great, our business is going good, we're getting interviews on late night TV, and Larry King.
Yeah, I think it was his first
King
time
Larry.
too in a movie.
Yeah, I read that on IMDb. So yeah, I really liked that.
It's so awesome.
And I thought it was hilarious that the EPA thing.
Yes.
I don't know why. Like, because nowadays they would never be cast as a villain. But I just think that's so funny.
He did such a good job at being the bad guy too.
Yeah,
Like I've read stuff before, like he was so hated, and like if people saw him on the street,
Oh.
they would like be mad at him, thinking like he was like a real villain in real life. And he also plays the villain in Die Hard 2.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember Die Hard 2 when they're in the plane and they have to land, and he's like the reporter that's like reporting. It's like he's not the villain, but he's like an asshole.
Yeah, so he kind of got typecast after this then.
I guess
yeah.
so.
I just think it's funny because it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm just repeating myself. Like, you want the EPA to keep watch of these things. And so they're like, yeah. And then because of him, we got this whole ghost thing, you know, it's out in the open now, and they got to be the heroes. So in a way, he's not the villain.
Yeah.
I'm just standing for him for some reason.
Yeah. He did a great job, though. He did a great job as the actor. Like, he really did. We're rooting against him. And you wanted the Ghostbusters to come through.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that I've liked, just going back and watching it, it's not like the major things. I'm a big fan of the visual effects and stuff, which we can talk about because it's classic VFX stuff.
In your face.
Yeah. But I really like their commercial. Like how they how some of them look down to step forward to like stand on their spot and like we are there, and like, you know, they're like popping out the window and stuff. I'm like, that's so classic bad commercial. Like, it's so good.
And I think what's really subtly funny about that, and kind of just like happens throughout the whole movie, is this idea of like people who are kind of in universities who are kind of protected from what does he say? He's like, I've worked in the public sector. They expect results. So that's kind of like the underlying thing that they just like are
so good.
They're just not used to working. I just thought that was a really funny like dig at academia.
Yeah. No, it's good. There was a lot of good like one-liners in this movie too.
Yeah.
Like what is it? Cats and dogs living together, mad hysteria.
Yeah.
Like we're at the end, like there's so many good ones. When they're crossing streams, like do not cross the streams. Like,
yeah, I loved Rick Moranis's party.
Oh my gosh,
just that party. I think I rewatched that scene because it was just so funny.
Hey man, I wish I could do Rick Moranis' voice. I can't. I'm not good at Rick Moranis' voice, but he was so perfect for that part. And originally they wanted John Candy to play that part.
Oh.
And he said no.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he ended up turning down the role. It might have been from another movie or something like that, but he ended up turning down the role.
I don't really see him in that role. I see him maybe as like, I don't even know, Dan Aykroyd.
It's just once you have Rick Moranis there, it's like hard to think of anyone else. To replace him. Michael Keaton was originally, they wanted him for Bill Murray's role.
Oh, I could see that. That could have worked.
Same type of. Bill Murray did such a good job.
Yeah.
Though. He did such a good job.
I mean, he was kind of a creep, but.
Oh, very, very creepy. Especially when he's like in the apartment and everything too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't totally take advantage of her when she was like possessed by a ghost.
Yeah, but still very creepy vibes.
Yeah.
Even like the first time he comes into the apartment too.
Yeah. Right. And she's kind of like, you can tell she's like, I don't want you here. You're not very professional. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, no, there was it does not.
Oh, and there was a moment, I had to like rewind it because I'm like, did I see that right? Where when Sigourney Weaver is about to be, I don't know if I'm using the right terminology.
When the hands come out of the sofa?
When she's being, is that like possessed or?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you can say
taken
possessed.
over by it. It literally grabs her boob.
Yeah, and one comes up like right there between the crotch too.
And I'm like, okay, wait, maybe I'm just
no.
Grabbed. It's like, okay.
And another fun fact, if you go frame by frame, you can see little X's on the couch where the hands pop out of.
Oh, nice.
Where the puppeteer's hands come out.
Yeah.
But so many practical effects in this movie.
I want to.
Like the door. Like, remember the door?
Totally.
And just like, just like, it's just a tight fabric and you can see
I
the
feel
hands.
like that's like that they use that at like the Not Scary Farm.
Not
like
Scary
it's
Farm, Haunted Mansion probably.
Yeah, totally.
Like all those Disney,
Haunted Mansion for sure.
Amusement park rides like,
yeah,
it's so
easy.
Good. And then even Slimer, the green puppet.
Yeah.
Or not puppet, but ghost. He's a puppet where, they have like, people's hands and his head's in the mouth and all that stuff like that. It's a full on puppet suit. It's really cool, the practical effects that was used in this movie.
So what are some examples of practical? Well, I know things were very obviously not practical effects, but I loved the Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
And that's No, that's a practical effect.
That's a suit.
Yeah, it costs $20,000, and I
Yeah.
think they made a few of.
They
And
made
$20,000 in
3 of 'em.
1984 is
Yeah.
like a lot.
Yep, they made 3 of them, and then they had to burn all 3 to get them to finally get the shot because the guy kept falling to the ground and rolling over, and they're like, "No, we only have 3 suits left," and it was toxic, so you had to wear like a gas mask. It was like this whole thing to get that shot.
So was that an example of like a really big, like still human size but really big costume, and they just like made it look like he was really big?
Yeah, he was green screened on.
Okay.
Which you can see a lot too, like they try to cut out people and stuff like that, and a lot of matte paintings were used when they paint on glass. So a lot of the city landscapes are actually paintings. There's even times where do you remember seeing them where it was like a pulled back shot of the building that has a hole in it, and you see them walking?
I'm thinking of when she's like hanging out of the building,
and probably also
a
matte painting. But there's one like really pulled back one where you see like people walking in the hole in the building. I think it's like on their way up.
Oh yeah.
There's cars on the ground, but since it's painted, they're not moving. it's just like a painting.
It's like they're in traffic.
which could totally work.
Yeah.
But like so much of this is just matte paintings with the cities.
Okay.
Like literal like paintings that's painted on glass with they shoot like light behind and what's open, they scratch it out so the film can be behind it and stuff like that.
Totally.
And then all of the clouds, like those dark, ominous clouds and scares, it was made in a cloud tank. Where they would literally like put like a thick substance in and they would shoot ink in and record it slowly, but then they would blow air. There's like this whole thing to like get the clouds to go and get those like crazy, creepy effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which totally work. They hold up pretty good too.
The practical effects too.
Oh yeah.
not the other ones.
I love how the demon dogs. Every time they're in
the
puppet
gargoyles?
form, yeah. Every time they're in like whenever they're not moving, you could totally tell it's like a puppet because like it's like laying on his belly. It's just like it's like not moving. When it does move, they're using stop motion, and there's a lot of mistakes too of like even when it jumps out of the hotel across the street and into the forest, it's like literally jumping through trees. If you go frame by frame, there's just so many like little funny things that you can catch. Highly recommend going frame by frame with this movie. There's a lot of good moments to catch for sure.
I had the option to either rent it HD or SD, and SD was $1 cheaper. And then I'm actually glad that I did because I feel like it kind of made it like kind of worked a little better. Because I feel like if it would have been HD, it would have been even more like, wow, that's not
like the whole 4K remaster.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I'm like, I'm good with SD.
It's like a little bit too clear.
Yeah,
you see all the issues and wrinkles and
it wasn't meant to be seen like that.
That's true. It was
literally
not meant to be seen like that. The whole power streams from their
don't cross the streams.
Did that remind you of anything? The way they looked, like the lightning color effect and stuff like that.
The orange?
No, just like the purple and the waves from their.
No.
Oh well, basically, like I was hoping you were gonna say Star Wars when the Emperor shoots lightning out of his hands, because that's the same. It's the same exact effect which is used.
Okay.
Like it's like hand drawn lightning but it's so beautiful because since it's hand drawn, it has so much more character to it.
Drawn.
Yeah. It's like painted on frame by frame. Like
that's really cool.
Isn't it crazy? Like that's how that effect was done because they didn't have computers and stuff at the time to do it. But it totally works. Like they get the whole streams going and all that stuff like that.
Okay. Maybe that's why they couldn't cross the stream because it was like too complicated to they're like, just write it in.
That's so good. There's so much good branding with this movie. The song, it's probably more iconic than the movie itself.
Oh, yeah.
And did you know there was a lawsuit around the song?
Really?
Yeah. So Huey Lewis was originally, they wanted him to write the song. He said no. He's doing a song for Back
He's like,
to
what the
Future.
F is a Ghostbuster? Get out of here.
And then they got oh my gosh, what's his name? Ray Parker to do the song.
Okay.
So he must have caught wind of them asking Huey Lewis or something because he basically ripped off a riff of one of Huey Lewis's songs, which is I Want a New Drug. And if you listen to the guitar and bass, like boom, 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 it's like almost the
You
same
feel
exact
it.
riff to the
Yeah.
point where he won in court, and he got paid $5 million. So back then, that's a good healthy chunk of change
That
right
is
there.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I have to
A
say,
lot of money for not
Ghostbusters is
writing
a
a
better song.
song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wrote it, but someone improved it. I guess you
Yeah,
can say.
it's murky. Yeah, that was really fun. That there's just like a theme. It's like a TV theme song for a
Oh, it's so
movie.
good.
Because it's not like they play it at the end, but during that montage I talked about, they
played
play
it a couple
it.
times, right?
Oh, do they?
I think
Okay,
so.
yeah, that's so good.
I think they do. I don't know now. I can't remember. I hear the song so much in my
I
head.
feel like maybe even the score has it a little bit.
Mm.
I might be making that up, but yeah, I think it is kind of
I just
woven.
think it's so ingrained in our memory. Like
Mhm.
even when you're watching a scene without music, you're like, bum, bum, like when you just
Yeah.
see the costumes and everything, or the logo. Such a strong logo.
Totally.
Like it's a beautiful logo. It always reminds me of like the Mighty Ducks when Disney owned them and they did the duck logo with like
Mhm.
it's like Donald Duck basically, but as a hockey player. It's just such a good logo. It's like my favorite
Yeah.
sports logo. And that's what this movie is, just like such an iconic good logo. Just like Jurassic Park has that iconic like good logo. It's like they thought of the branding when they made this movie
Totally.
almost.
And it holds up because when I went onto Amazon to go rent it, I put Ghostbust and it was like the first one was like Ghostbusters toys.
Yeah.
It's like, nope.
Yeah, there was a lot of toys.
Yeah.
They made a lot of money off toys in this movie.
Oh, and then another thing is I accidentally rented Ghostbusters 2 first.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
But I didn't play it so I could return it. But it was just funny because I was
I
like,
guess
"What
we're
the heck?"
watching that next. I'm just kidding. No.
I heard that's really bad.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
Well, maybe that'd be fun to watch a bad one.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I think it was a cash grab for sure
Yeah,
with the title
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's what the new one is. So, whatever.
So would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, totally.
And I that's pretty much it. I mean, we can get more into VFX, but me and John already did a whole VFX breakdown. Like, well, I'll put the link here. We go really in depth in the techniques used and why they did certain things, and a lot of funny stories where like Slimer, you know, when he's like flying around the chandelier and like he's going in circles, that's
Oh,
actually
in the
just
hotel.
a peanut spray painted green on a string.
What? Yeah, that's another thing. Okay, wait. I wanted to say that I think they all had to do the different type of acting where they're interacting with peanuts and all this
Uh-huh.
stuff. But Sigourney Weaver, I think really
Oh.
for what she imagining that she had to pretend like
Yeah.
she was being possessed and
Yeah.
she's like a very serious actor. It like worked really I think she did really good.
So apparently when she auditioned for the role, she acted as a dog. And right on the spot, they picked her for the part. Another interesting fact was originally the Ghostbusters story, before the director got involved, it was going to take place in the future. And it was going to be like a whole thing where it was just another safety department. Like it was Ghostbusters around the world where there's like multiple different things, this big thing. And then he's brought it back to like, no, let's keep it modern day and more like a startup. Like, so we're rooting for these guys. It's not like a big corporation, and it totally landed.
Yeah. Plus, like, if you go in the future or in the past, you like double your budget basically. So I'm sure that was like a thing
That's true.
too.
That's true. I mean,
And the fire station still stands, I believe.
yes, because that's in New York, and then everything shot inside was shot in a studio in LA.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
In the beginning, this is not relevant to anything, but the library, it looked exactly like the library I worked at in college. Like it was the library, it was like you walked in and it was as if you were in the olden days. Like it just looked, and it had those drawers that had all the goo on it. I had to look, I'm like, what is that, the library I worked at? But yeah, there were a lot of evenings spent doing the same thing she was doing, stacking books
with Ghost
in the little crawl spaces of aisles and being like, damn, there's probably some ghosts in here.
Oh, so you related to the intro then.
I related to it, yeah, as a librarian.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think the saint she prays to is the saint. It's like a saint for the librarians. It's like a saint of the, yeah, it's
I'll have
something
to look
like
into
that. I
that.
can't remember. I remember hearing that a long time ago because
That's
she says like
funny.
saint whatever, but it's the saint for the.
She can just pull it out. She knows.
She knows.
She's like,
She
if
knows.
I encounter a ghost here.
Well, guys, let us know if you enjoyed Ghostbusters, if you watched Ghostbusters, if you're thinking about watching
Rewatching it?
the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I mean, not to shill for Jeff Bezos, but it was only $199 for the SD version. So, I mean, it was pretty affordable.
That was worth it because you can't really stream it anywhere right
You
now.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know if you're going to watch the new one. The Stranger Things kid is in it.
Mhm.
I can't remember his name. And then we have Paul Rudd.
The 2021 People's Magazine Sexiest Man Alive, Paul Rudd.
Oh, but Paul Rudd, but the kid is from Stranger Things.
Yeah, but
Can't remember
Paul
his
was
name.
just crowned Sexiest Man Alive, so we need to let that be known.
Yes. Who was it last year? I'm just kidding.
So we're just like, no, canceled.
Who was the other? I can't remember the other person that's in it, but I know a lot of the original cast is coming back and stuff. So
Yeah.
let us know down below if you want to see Ghostbuster Afterlife. I think it's Afterlife.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I know I want to see it. Taylor's now's debating on seeing it now that she saw the original, and then hopefully we can figure out a way to go see it.
It's just hard with the pandemic because I got
Yeah.
used to like watching things at home, and I prefer that.
I know. Why can't everything be like HBO Max?
I
Please
know, I
just
love
let us
HBO
stream or give us an
Max.
option to stream for payment. Like, I mean, that's always an option.
Yeah.
Well, leave your comments down below. Go to AsArt.space for the audio and video links. We also have a podcast, which we've talked about Jurassic Park and other fun 80 movies and 90 movies. Just go visit AsArt.space for all the audio and video links. We'll see you on the next AsArt.
Bye.